All right, we're live. Let me just make sure that the audio is all right. Because last night I had some technical stream. I didn't realize how bad the audio was. That was disgusting. Listening back to it, so let's listen back and see how it looks like or how bad it is. Yeah, it's still. I don't know. I don't know if it's StreamYard. I don't know what it is because my OBS doesn't do that. Interesting. I'm not very happy with that. Anyway, thank you for the 13 of you guys here chilling. Sterling, happy to have you here. Glad I was able to at you in Discord so you don't miss this. I'll probably be live for around 30 minutes. So because I'd like to just sit down and get ready to watch the stuff. I'll probably end up doing another supercut post this week and stuff. Real quick, related to the live shows and stuff. Pierce and I have talked about kind of keeping more things behind the paywall. I'm not sure how many live streams I'm going to do this year. I would prefer to like do what I did last year and the year before, just do them for every single race. But after talking with some people, after just getting some feedback from some of the people in Patreon and some of the people that I kind of at least look up to in the content side, not necessarily like big creators, but people who like, you know, spend a lot of money on DFS and stuff. They view the Patreon as kind of more of just a support thing and not necessarily for, for projections and things like that. So I kind of want to lean it more towards keeping more things behind the paywall. So as I said, not exactly sure how many of these I'm going to do this year. Um, I'd like to see, and Pearce would like to see a little bit more and I understand it's February, I understand people don't want to join now, but like leaning towards March, like if we don't have like a significant increase in the number of people on Patreon or in the amount of super chats that we're getting, I'll probably end up cutting down on some of the live shows this year. That's just kind of where my head is at. I know I won't be live Saturday because I want to watch the ARCA race. So I'm not going to be live Saturday because we have, Xfinity qualifying. I want to get that done as the ARCA race is on. But looking towards the dual races for this evening, I think they are the tale of two different races. I think you can very easily, and thank you everybody for tuning in and watching this. I know it's, you're barely getting off work. It's Thursday night. I appreciate you being here. Tale of two races. So duel one, in my opinion, lean more towards a situation. I mean, you can attack both races in similar fashions, whatever you want to do. If you want to chase the lap leader, if you don't want to chase the lap leader, it really, and as I talked about it in the dual preview video when we viewed and looked at, how certain positions, how certain drivers, how what ends up being like a top 10 scorer DFS wise for these dual races. We can see, quite a few different avenues for a lot of these drivers to get there today. Make sure this is going all right. When we look at potential lap leaders for duel number one, personally, this is a question I don't mind answering. I would lean Logano over Blaney. That's just where I'm at. I would trust Logano more. In terms of Blaney, Logano, Wallace, I don't see Wallace winning this race due to the fact that when we've seen Bubba be up front, it's because he's with the JGR guys. Now, I'm not saying there aren't JGR guys in this race because you have Ty Gibbs, you have Christopher Bell, but we typically see him and Denny Hamlin, be joined at the hip in these races. Okay. I think the fact that it's just those three cars and Ty Gibbs with his inexperience in these cars. Now we've seen Ty Gibbs work, with his team work with the Joe Gibbs cars in the Xfinity Series. We have plenty of races to look back on and see how they go about working or how he goes about working with his team. Like we understand that he's going to work with Christopher Bell. We understand that Bubba Wallace is going to work with Christopher Bell and Ty Gibbs. I don't think he's going to be able to get there on his own, specifically with the Ford Brigade up there of Logano, Blaney, Harrison Burton, Chris Buescher, Harvick. I assume all the Fords are going to stay together in this race. All the Chevys are going to stay together in this race, and all the Toyotas are going to try and pick whatever group they believe is going to be the best for this race. Secondly, real fast, I want to jump in. I'm trying to think of different content to put out there and do, real quick that's kind of why I have Discord. I mean, a lot of people just ask anyway. And oddly enough, this is the Pearce wants me to do this, but this is the least wanted um, option of like the live shows. Like oddly enough, nearly everybody who's given feedback in the Patreon want the live shows to continue. Oddly enough, like making them private is one of like the quietest requests that I've had. I mean, unless you guys truly do want that. And anyway, I am doing like, post race stuff. I'll probably do all the post race things for these races on Monday just because we have races back to back. They're all Daytona and Talladega. However, another thing I've been wanting to do because I personally don't enjoy showing lineups on live shows. I know Jordan does his live show where he builds lineups and stuff like that. That's just personally not how I like going about things. In my opinion, it's very similar to playing poker and then just telling everybody what your two cards are. I think that's kind of dumb, especially in a sense where a lot of these people, not what he does. I just kind of view like the approach showing building lines on a live stream showing people like we're kind of giving our where we're going away. Anyway, one thing I want to do, and I'm going to start doing it here, is when it'll probably be at like midnight or something, but I've recorded me making my lineups for the duels today. um it's not like like a step by step thing. It's literally just me here working, talking to myself, and I've recorded the process of me making lineups in case that'll help you at all. Now, in that situation, that's how I show the sheet because it'll be like past the race. It doesn't matter if projections are seen at that point. And it's just me goofing around on my computer building lineups in case you guys care about that or want to see that. So we got the post race stuff. We got that going up. I'm trying to think of things to do in case I do shift more towards not doing live shows. Anyway, continuing on with this race, pits are gonna be absolutely huge. I think Duel 2 goes green. If we see a wreck today, I think it's gonna be in Duel number 1, and I think we have a very, very small chance of that happening. Um, we're not playing Bowman. We're not playing Byron. I believe both those. Byron will probably end up finishing around fifth or sixth, not viable for DFS. Bowman, not going to worry about us. And so the reason why I like Logano over Blaney, I believe Logano's a better plate racer than Blaney. I believe that Logano is going to want to lead that forward train. And the way that I see it is with Bowman most likely falling back in the field, and same thing with this is also why I like Aric Almirola in Duel number 2. I assume that Alex is going to start inside line here. I don't see why it's on the outside unless he truly just wants to drop back. But I believe that Logano is going to be able to get up to the top. I believe Blaine is going to let him up. So I would just lean Logano, and I don't believe we're going to have a lot of passing past that. Like I look, these drivers are just going to chill. The field's going to spread out. This is the practice session. Also, why do we have 2 practice sessions after this? Like if I'm at Daytona, I don't do the practice sessions. I might do 10 laps combined between the 2 practice sessions. We're doing 60 laps tonight. We know what we need, or we have what we need. Why? I'm not going to go out there and put the car back on track the Friday and Saturday. That's just stupid. So that's just lame. Anyway, Ford Brigade is huge. I think Harrison Burton's going to be strong. I'm not going to play him DFS wise, but he is part of the Ford Brigade. He's the Penske car. Look, he's a Penske car. I don't care. Like Harrison Burton is gonna be there. Let's see. Sorry, I gotta check something here. Sorry about that. Yeah, so like Penske has 3 cars up front. The Fords already have the advantage. Buescher, Harvick, they're going to work with them together. So if you're building lineups, in my opinion, these are the races that you want to stack teams, stack manufacturers. Now, I'm not saying all 6 of your drivers are Fords and Toyotas and Chevys, but I think 3 or 4 out of your lineup should be coordinated or correlated with each other based on team alliance, manufacturer alliance, how they're going to run in this race, because that's just how the race is going to perform. Outside of that, I think everybody is going to end up playing Stenhouse, Austin Dillon, Eric Jones. I don't think that is like any huge thing. I think a guy that I want to focus on who's in a Ford who should run well is McDowell. Past that, if you've watched the Duel preview videos, you kind of already know the drivers I want to target in the middle of the pack. That's where I'm mainly sticking to. Doing 4 lineups in each Duel tonight. What is that? 60. I think it's $63 for each Duel between the 4 lines spread out between like 5 or 6 contests. I don't remember. The 10, the 4, 1, 25 cent, 50 cent, somewhere around there. Let me start going through some of these questions real fast. 31 of you guys here. I do appreciate it. I do appreciate you guys joining me. Yeah, man, that's funny, dude. The ARCA race is gonna be wild. I haven't been so like muted for a 500 because like there's no like interest leading up to this race. But the ARCA race, I am so excited. I mean, I am here for that, which you already know. I appreciate your yes, and a lot of people like the live shows. I'm just trying to think. I don't know, trying to value Patreon a little bit more. You know, I have a question about Pastrana. Could he really finish the Cup race? Pastrana, don't be shitting on Pastrana. And this ain't me coming from a sense of like, oh, Pastrana's cool. You know, shout out to the real Travis Pastrana fans out there. You know, good old motorcycle days, good old X Game days, good old Thrill Billies and Nitro Circus back when that stuff was starting. I mean, Pastrana's cool, and that's kind of where the conversation ends for most people. But Pastrana knows how to drive. When you look at Pastrana and his finishes in super speedways, he knows what he's doing. You know, I know he was with Rouse for a very short period of time, but he went through those races very smartly, very strategically. If you look at a lot of the big wrecks in the Xfinity series in the race that he was in, he avoided a lot of those. The wrecks that he was involved in were last lap crashes, were crashes within the last 10 lap. I don't believe Pastrana gets involved in a wreck on Sunday until it's the end of the race. Now, he might be running 30th at that point, but I believe Pastrana is going to take care of his car and actually be there. We've seen what is it? I just went blank. I mean, he isn't going to win, but I'm just happy Pastrana's in the race. I would love it. I would love it if Jimmy. I hope Jimmy self spins, man. Like, man, I'm so pissed. I was so mad Jimmy made it. I was so glad Pastrana did. I don't know. Pastrana's like, is he? I forgot what duel he's in. He's in duel number 2. Let's talk about duel number 2 real fast. Then I'm kind of talking about Pastrana here. When you look at 2311, they only have one backup car at the track, but like that doesn't matter. Like if 2311, if they destroy cars tonight, they have 3 days to get a car to Daytona. They just send the trailer back up to Charlotte. Like I don't understand the whole big storyline of like, you know, we got to really take care of our cars here. We only have one backup car. Like it's a 500. You're gonna tell me like, oh shucks, we've destroyed 2 cars. Like you guys are gonna go find a backup car somewhere. But you know, Pastrana's starting 12th, and I know you're talking about Sunday, but Pastrana has 2 ways in the race today, and that is he rides because he's in. They practice on the car. He gets comfortable with it in the draft, or he follows Hamlin up to the front. Like there is no in between. Travis will either finish 6th in the duel or finish 18th. It's a 50-50 on each of those. I don't see anything but that. I believe that he rides, but that's where I'm at there. Sorry. I'll never forget when I asked somebody in chat why they would post full lineups in chat. Jordan tweaked on me thinking I was calling him mean. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. For me, I've always been that way. I've never personally enjoyed showing where I'm going. I mean, I have my projections, and if you guys use the optimizer, you'll most likely run into the same lines that I run. I mean, like at that point, it's fine. Like that's why I offer the projections. But just like being on YouTube, being like, oh, these are my lineup. I don't know. It's just kind of lame, at least for me. How much Todd Father is too much? I mean, that's better than Gilly Gang, but man, Todd Squad is fine. Oddly enough, I really thought I was going to play Todd Gilliland in the duel. I have no Todd Gilliland today. I really thought I was going to play him. I ended up on LaJoy way more due to the fact that in duel number 2, I think the optimal lineup leaves close to, I think it leaves very little on the table. And I think that duel number 2 is jamming in as many of the 9K and 8K guys as possible. I really do. Just due to the fact that Elliott, Hamlin, Keselowski, and I personally really like Reddick, but those 3 first guys that I said there are, in my opinion, the favorites to win the duel. Okay? I know that we have Almirola, Cindric, Briscoe, Kyle Busch up there and stuff, but I truly believe Elliott, Keselowski, or Hamlin wins duel number 1. Okay? And I think all 3 of those drivers finish inside the top 7. So with that, I believe duel number 2 leans to a construction that leaves very little on the table in terms of salary. That's where I'm at there. Yeah, dude, AD. And we're finally following each other on Twitter. I'm very happy. Let's see if they don't post it. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. Dude, I was so oh my god, I fucking hate NASCAR, dude. I hate them. I hate them. They change it all the time, and then I feel like I seem crazy when I say somebody or I was telling somebody on Discord earlier this morning because I got a lot of messages saying that the grid that we had was wrong, and I was like, "Hey, don't worry, we'll fix that." That was the first grid that came out like following the duels. And then like an hour later, they gave another grid where they removed Pastrana and I think McDowell and they swapped somebody. They swapped two people from each grid. And I'm like, yeah, I understand my grid is wrong at the moment. I went off of the first run. They always do that. I hate NASCAR. I hate the way they do their grids and stuff. Oh yeah, I'm sorry that I took forever to get here. Just you can rewind. I mean, I'm only going to probably be live for another 10 minutes or so. But I mean, I can ask or I can answer whatever you want for the duels. I think I don't necessarily believe in completely stacking the front here. Like I said, if you watched my dual preview video, you know the positions I want to target, but it's the mid pack. Like I'm not targeting really anybody in the back of the field on either duel. I'm playing the good guys starting mid pack that I believe. And if you're part of the Patreon, we have the finishing positions for how drivers do at duels that I haven't seen other people really talk about or like mention and stuff. Like that stuff is that's what I'm leaning toward. Like if you have the sheets and you see people in the middle of the pack that just have a bunch of green beside them in finishing positions, like that's who I'm playing, you know. Um, so I don't think you necessarily have to stack the front. I think we're going to see the winner of both duels probably come from outside the top five. I believe both winners will be guys starting outside the top five. That's where I'm at there. And Pastrana didn't do cup races, but he did Xfinity Series races 2010, 2011, 2012, and he's done some one-off truck events and stuff like that. But the guy knows what he's doing. There's a lot of onboards of Travis, oddly enough, on YouTube. If you want to go back at Daytona, and one of his more memorable quotes is like, "There's a big wreck." This is how old it is. I think it's the year Austin Dillon won the Xfinity Series championship because he's in the 3 car, and I think he ends up winning that race or finishing. He makes it through the wreck, and then Travis, I think he barely gets the wall, but he's not involved in the wreck at all, and he says something along the lines of that was one high speed chaotic crash fest right there. Like Travis knows what he's doing. I understand that. You know, people. I don't believe that he's a bust. I just believe that these cars are very difficult. That might be me just like shilling for Travis and stuff. I think if he had more time and didn't, not that I'm saying he shouldn't be involved in stuff because he has an awesome life. Like with him, do whatever you want, man. Like NASCAR should not be your priority. And he explained, and if you real quick, sorry, because I really like the action sports scene. I don't talk about it a lot because it's like not involved in NASCAR. But if you listen to Tony Hawk's podcast with Jason Ellis, they've talked about it a lot, talking with and about Ricky Carmichael about like his experience in the truck series. And they really emphasize that like NASCAR takes way more time than other forms of motorsports to like really get good at it. And the fact that Pastrana had 1 year and was a quote unquote bust, I don't think that's necessarily fair. Same thing with Haley Deegan. Like, yeah, she's on year 3. Yeah, that's where you start showing improvement. Like if Travis was stuck around for multiple years, he would have gotten better at it. That's kind of where I'm at there. In terms of Duel 1 is, I think, is going to be more fun to watch. I think it'll be more fun to make lineups for. Duel 2, I think, is better for DFS. I think there's a lot of people and a lot of different ways you can go on Duel number 2 to be unique, despite the fact that I think the optimal leans to using a lot of the salary or using most of the salary. Yeah, dude, Pastrana's awesome. I got a picture of Pastrana back when he was running his monster truck. This is like 2003. No, probably earlier than that. I don't remember. I'm a baby. Like, dude, I mean, I'm probably older than a toddler, but I'm an old fetus, maybe like a young child. I can't remember. Like I'm probably over 3, probably under 6 or whatever, but I have a picture of Travis holding me over. I'm on his neck, you know, when he was running monster trucks back then. Travis is awesome. Uh, yeah, I really hope so. I would really like him to run more. I think he's an awesome dude. Um, and I don't think people like. I'd love to see him. It's a shame that we lost Ken Block. I'd like to see Tanner Faust. I'd like to see Von Gittin Jr. Uh, I'd like to see Brian Deegan. I'd like to see these guys get involved in some of this racing more. That's why I like Haley Deegan, because I was a huge, and I still am a huge Brian Deegan fan. Those guys have so much skill. So it's I don't like that they're just kind of dismissed or talked about it or not talked about it. I don't know. I'm just kind of rambling at this point. 46 of you guys here. Thank you for joining me on this Thursday night talking about the duels. Real quick, let me go through. Let me look at these real fast. I only have one line in duel number 1 chasing like a true lap leader, and that's Logano. Everything else is kind of chasing the guys in the mid pack that I want to do. Then duel number 2, I want to because I only do 4 lines. I have one line with Aric Almirola, but I want to really make an argument for Aric Almirola in duel number 2. There's a real chance he can win it. For me, I don't know what the betting lines are. I know it's like right before the races and all that, but Aric Almirola, if you look back at his dual races, this is the guy I'll talk a lot about. Despite the fact I only have him in one line, he's the guy that I think you should really take a stand on and at least have in one line. Like if you don't have him right now, I think you should have Aric Almirola in one line. When we look at how good of a super speedway driver he is, and I'm talking about in the duels. I'm not talking about how many times he's been optimal at Daytona Talladega. But seriously, take a look at this. If I can find it. If I can find them. Where are we at? Buddy boy. Last year, he finishes 19th in his duel. Let me make sure real fast. Before I start rambling on a ton. Oh boy. Fast. I got a message I got to answer. Okay, sorry about that. I had to answer. I got it real fast. When we look at how Aric Almirola has ran in the duels, 19th, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 20th, 7th, 19th. Now, I understand there's a lot of drivers who have a lot of top fives. Let's emphasize where Aric Almirola has started in these races. It is a spitting image of what is happening tonight. 2021, he starts second in his duel, and that is the one that he wins. In 2020, he starts fourth in his duel, and he finishes. Where are we at? Buddy boy. Finishes second. In 2019, he finishes third, and he starts eighth. 2018, he finishes 20th, and he starts, what is that, around 9th, 8th. 2017, he finishes 9th. Anyway, sorry, I'm having to deal with a lot over here, working with one screen. My main point is we've seen this instance or this exact thing happen from Aric Almirola, and that's just where he's finished. If we look at where he is, like that's just where he is finished. If we look at how he's done in terms of being ranked in DFS, last year the worst score in the field. 2021, he was the best scorer. He was number 1, the highest score in his duel. 2020, he was the sixth highest scorer. 2019, third highest scorer. 18th in 2018, fifth in 2017. We're trying to get as many, in my opinion, trying to fit in as many top 10 scorers in your lineup as possible. The fact that outside of incidents to where he's finished dead last in his duel at the very tail end of the field, he has been a top 6 DFS scorer in these races. He's $7,200. I think you should absolutely have him in a duel or have him in a lineup if you do not have him right now. Well, I think it's because it was really cool. Man, I'm so mad that Lucas Oil Off-Road Racing Series went under. That was awesome. Those races were freaking awesome. And there was another series too that ran during the early years of the Lucas Oil, and then also alongside them. Like if you look back, they used to run those off-road racing trucks at Eldora. Go back, and this is like 2013, 2014. They're running those trucks at Eldora, and they built up jumps at Eldora. I think they had 4, like one in each corner in the straightaway. One of the trucks almost went through the catch fence and almost killed a bunch of fans. If you guys haven't seen that wreck, I don't remember the name of the series, but just look up like off-road racing truck Eldora catch fence crash or whatever. But Deegan used to do like both of those series. He was awesome. And the fact that they, her and her dad bonded a lot at those races, just a couple years back. And then also with how well her brother's doing in the motocross scene, like I doubt we'll ever see Brian like hop into a truck or like race alongside his kids again, just because he's kind of already done that. But like the Deacon family freaking rules. What's going on, Brian? Happy to see you. I mean, I'm keeping a lot of things behind the paywall, not really necessarily going over like a ton of stuff, but Pearce is not a bad play. He's put the good. This guy, what's up? DK, no starting post tool. Well, I mean, just because DraftKings doesn't have the starting positions doesn't mean that you can't find them. Like, if just go on Twitter and you'll find, or just go to JSki, go to NASCAR.com. Like, you can get the starting positions from elsewhere. I'll be honest, I never look at like anything DraftKings has in the actual like web page of like starting positions. I'm literally building lines looking at my looking at the sheet and stuff like that. Let me see what else is going on here. Let's see. I believe. Oh, wait a minute. Germany. Casey, I don't know if you're in here in the live show or not, but thank you very much for joining the Patreon. I will get you added very shortly because I will probably. It says you signed up 11 minutes ago. I don't have the money on the Patreon account, and it usually takes like 50 minutes or so to go through on my end. As soon as that goes through, I will add you to the sheets and discords. Thank you very much for the support, Jeremy. I do appreciate it. Also, for a first-time supporter as well, we've had a lot of people come back, slowly start coming back through the month of February. But anytime we get a new support or a new patron, I'm bad with like. Anyway, thank you for supporting me and Pearce and everything. Thank you very much, Jeremy. Yeah, Darren, I'm kind of debating doing less live streams, trying to keep more things behind the paywall. It really depends on type of support that we get. Like February is always kind of wonky because this is starting in the middle of the month, and just by how we do our stuff, Patreon's old payment system of the first of the month is perfect for us. So I haven't changed that, and I don't plan on changing that. But because of that, a lot of people will probably really join in March and stuff like that. But if we don't see like a gigantic, not necessarily increase, but if we don't see a lot of support coming in through either like the Patreon or like super chats and stuff, I'll probably end up like backing down on the amount of live shows. I don't want to do that, but I think that's what we'll probably end up looking at. I'll reevaluate everything around like mid-March and stuff. I like being here. There's nobody else on YouTube doing as much live shows and stuff as we do. Plus, working on the stupid sheets and stuff last night. I didn't go to bed till like 3:30. Wake up at 8. Still, I worked in. We were in the sheets like 11. I didn't even start building lines like noon today. Hey, there you are, Jeremy. No, thank you very much. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate it, man. Thank you very much for joining. Real quick, because we're kind of getting down to the end here, and I want to probably head off in a few minutes. Do you want to quickly type in the we got 30 minutes to lock, by the way, for duel number 1. Would you like to comment why you joined, just so other people could see? I always hate, scooping messages or like what people say of like why they joined. I got a lovely message earlier. I will read this one. I won't say who it's from because I don't really like giving like names away and stuff like that. But I thought this was a really cool message. And he's actually in the chat right now. This message said earlier today, honestly, all of the data you provide is why I return. Most other sites I tried only offer some data, and it's typically only a day or two prior to the race. I like being able to study an hour or two every day leading up to the race. That aspect or that part of the message that I got earlier today like really meant a lot, just because like I'm glad people like see that. I don't know. It's cool, especially coming. And I even told them, especially coming from somebody who has used other sites. The fact that you came back to us like means the world. That's awesome. I'm glad that we provide everything that you're looking for and stuff like that. Thank you very much, Eagles. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a shame that Pearce works so darn much. I'd love to have him on. I know I'll have Jordan on some of the Sunday live shows this year. But man, I just like talking processes and stuff. I like building lines. I love doing this stuff. I like being here. And thank you very much, Wes. And I mean, if I get stuff like that, and I'm not saying you guys don't have to go crazy with the donations and or the super chats and stuff, but like just seeing, $2, $3, $4, a live show or something like that, that goes a huge way to keeping the live shows here, and it goes a huge way for us. I know it doesn't seem like that, but it really does. So thank you very much, Wes. And yeah, thank you very much, Doug. I do appreciate it. But yeah, let me see real fast. Let me go over the duels real fast for you guys since I'm about to end it here. Duel number 1, not playing Cody Ware, not playing Ty Dillon, not playing Chandler Smith. I think between 9th and 18th should be where a majority of your lines are created. Duel number 2, I think Hamlin, Keselowski, Elliott have a really good chance of being the race winner in duel number 2. And those are the main people that I want to build around. I mean, it's not like I'm like saying like huge pivots and stuff like that. Like I'm pretty sure everybody is going that way. I'm just saying like that's kind of where I'm at. That's where a majority of my lines or like the cores of my lines are. Past that, I'm just kind of filling in, trying to find like lower owned people from there. You know what I mean? Hey, Forrest, thank you very much. I don't know, were you on? I joined, or I wasn't on the stream last night, but I saw Sheets. He was watching some sweats and stuff, and I hopped in his chat, and I was in there for a bit. Were you in there last night? But yeah, I let Sheets know, and I mean Sheets knows that I'm always free to join him and stuff, but shoot some messages his way. Ask to have me on. I'll happily hop back on there. He even said last night that he'll probably asked me to be on once we get to like real races, like a Daytona. These kind of like fluky races and stuff. But once the season progresses, I know that he said he wanted to have me on at least once or twice this year. Yeah, he was up late. Man, we were all up late. I don't know. It made me so happy seeing him up late. I'm up late. We were up at like fucking 1 a.m. Like, I think he was. I don't know if it was him or somebody he knew, but he was watching like the sweat for the end of the NBA slate with Joe Val getting pulled with like whoever he was watching needed like 3 points from Joe Val to take down the $250,000 tournament. Yeah, we'll see. 54 of you guys here. I do appreciate it. Very detailed answer for you guys. Take stance, take 5. Thank you very much, Wesley. Oh, you guys. Oh man, you guys are so thoughtful. Thank you very much. I think this is where I'm going to end it here because I'm very bad at taking compliments here. Dude, I'm with. Doesn't that piss you guys off? BVP, thank you very much for the donation as well. I really appreciate it. I really do. Thank you. Thank you, David, as well. Man, I mean, we're throwing compliments out like crazy. I'm gonna leave this up because thank you, BVP, for supporting this. Like, thank you. I do appreciate it. But referring to you, AD, like that annoys the fuck out of me. Like if I'm watching a live show on any site, I know I said it last night. Like if you've been around long enough, you've won a lot of money and you've lost a lot of money. You've almost won GPPs and you've lost GPPs. Like we're all in the same boat. I don't want to listen to people jerk themselves off for the first 10 minutes of each live stream. Like like here in the video that I made 2 weeks ago, like how I build super speedway lines, I don't open with, "Hey guys, this is how much money I made." Like that is at the very end once I've said like, "Hey, this is my process. This is what I do. This is how I like perform or like this is how it goes at times." Like that's why I don't like posting screenshots on Twitter. Wins, losses doesn't really matter. I don't like that type of content from people. And I'm glad that, you know, I feel like a lot of people who have found me, who support us, who watch these live shows, feel the same way and watch my stuff or enjoy or are part of the comments here or part of the chat because you also don't enjoy those types of live shows. That's why I'm not with another site. I don't like that type of stuff. I also another thing I don't like is promoting fucking prize picks or underdraft every 7 seconds. I think that I'm sick and tired of hearing, well, if you're a first time user of prize picks, use my code to get a 50% match deposit. Like we all have prize picks now. What? Give me a code. Give me something to provide to my viewers for people who are already users of your site. Like I don't give a shit if it was like use my code for a $5 bonus on prize picks if you're a already like using user. Like I think that would go a much farther way and make that stuff way more tolerable than just dealing with stupid segues every 7 seconds for prize picks or MGM. Like use my code for a free bet. Like everybody has free bets. Hello, I hear that everywhere. I don't want to hear that anymore. You know. Anyway, that's my ramble on that. Thank you for bringing this up, AD. I think that was a pretty fun rant. Yeah, yeah, I'm glad. And he was tremendous last year, helping us get some supporters and viewers and stuff like that. And I've slowly seen my YouTube, my Twitter, all that stuff grow. That's another fast, but like I don't annoy you guys with like, hey, like the video, hey, subscribe. Like I'm just here to talk with you guys. If you guys want to do that, you're gonna do it. If you don't, you don't. Yeah. Man, hopefully we can do it again. That's why I just want to see Rex, man. I want to see people flip over. Darren, I'm glad you feel the same way. And same thing with you, Doug. Yeah, that stuff's just annoying. It's hard to watch some shows. It's hard, like as I said, it is hard to watch and listen to some NASCAR content out there. And I listen to it all because that's what I do. I need to know where people are going. There ain't anything on YouTube. Pinnell, I like Pinnell. He's probably the one I would recommend the most. The other ones, I personally don't get a lot of info that I can use at all from anybody else. Yeah, I don't like self promotion as well. LaJoy, if you believe that Duel number 2 that you need to use a lot of your salary, which I believe that you do, I am comfortable having a lot of LaJoy tonight. 21 minutes until the slate locks. Let me talk for another 2 minutes and I will end the live show here. Very similar case with Aric Almirola when we look at Corey LaJoy's finishes. Excuse me, specifically the outside of 2020, like seriously, take a look at this. When we look at how he started his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, last 6 Corey LaJoie starts, 15th, 17th, 18th, 19th, 21st, 21st. His finishes in these races, 11th, 7th, 19th, 16th, 16th, 16th. Now, what is really impressive and really shocking is those 16th place finishes. He was the 11th best scorer in 2019, the 13th best scorer in 2018, and the 11th best scorer in 2017. Okay? That's not even including him finishing 11th and 7th the last 2 years, having him be the 9th highest scoring driver in his duel and the 2nd highest scoring driver in his duel. So the fact that we are, in my opinion, looking at a situation where he will most likely be the 11th to 10th highest scoring driver in this race, and he doesn't even need to get near the top 12. For his price, if you are building and tight on money, he is by far the best value play on the slate, and I find him viable in every way that you could play him. Cash, GPP, whatever the case is, I'm comfortable playing Corey LaJoie. If he finishes like 20th, so be it. But I think even if we get a situation where he finishes like 12th or 13th or 14th, he might still be that value play that you need to lock in the top 5 highest scoring drivers in this. And I think I don't think you're losing money tonight on Corey LaJoie. Like if you lose money, I think it's going to be due to other people in that lineup not performing. But I think LaJoie is an awesome play. That is where I'm at there. Thank you, Mark. I do appreciate it. And yes, I think you should play Stenhouse Jr. I'm going to end it there, guys. Thank you very much for the support. Thank you very much for being here. BVP, thank you very much for another $20 super chat. And really just doing that in almost every live show that I do. Thank you very much. West, thank you very much. And these super chats, I'm serious, they go a long way in saving these live shows and stuff. So thank you guys very much. Best of luck tonight. Enjoy the duels and enjoy the next 4 days of racing. And please, maybe not tonight, or let me change it. Let's hope for a flip, specifically a driver that you don't own. If you don't own him, flip him over tonight. But moving truck, Xfinity, ARCA, Cup Series, let's see some rollovers. Let's see some crashes. Let's enjoy the opening race for the NASCAR season. I really messed that sentence up. I'll see you guys tomorrow. See you guys then. Oh, yes, I will. I'll be live for the trucks tomorrow. I will not be live Saturday. And I will be live Sunday. That's the plan. I'll see you guys later.